had an issue with going to my account and seeing $2,000. I would see that number and be like, oh, I got $2,000. But really, I probably didn't have $2,000 because I had $1,800 worth of bills coming out. Hey girl, welcome or welcome back. My name is Trinity. If you're new here, today we're going to be discussing small habits that can change your life. And I know they'll change your life because they have changed mine. If you're interested, just keep on watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get right into it. I said in a recent video that you don't always have to change everything about your life in order for it to improve. You don't always have to make these really big changes. Sometimes it's just little small tweaks that make all the difference. So today I'm going to share some examples of little small habits, little small tweaks that I've made to my life that have changed my life. Some of these things might sound really like mediocre, especially if you're the type of person who always has all these groundbreaking things on your goals list. But just stick with me. I promise you they make a difference. The first one is having routines. Morning routines, night routines, skincare routines, cleaning routines. You want to have a routine for everything because as adults who have a lot going on, it's impossible for us to do everything in one day at one time. So you want to have designated times for everything that you have to do. And you also need consistency in order to thrive. I say this all the time, but humans thrive off of routine. I know that I don't do well with just having little mental to-do lists that aren't set in stone and consistent every day. And if you're not new here, then you know that I have been struggling with sticking to my routines. Now, when I actually do follow them, I'm great, I'm thriving. And the moment that I fall off, it's like everything falls apart. So as I said before, I like to have a morning routine. I've been trying to wake up at the same time every day just for consistency and to allow myself the time to have a slow morning so that I'm not rushing and trying to cram in a whole bunch of things in a short amount of time. I always have to brush my teeth, wash my face. If it's a day where I'm going to the gym, I'll take my shower when I come back from the gym because I always take a shower at night, so I'm pretty much good. I make my son breakfast, I get him dressed, and then I try to have a nice, quick, simple, easy breakfast just to make sure I get my breakfast in. Because if I try to do a whole complicated situation, I'm not gonna eat anything. So I like to keep my morning routine pretty simple. And then when it comes to my evening routine, I always have this big grand idea of everything I want to get done. And I've realized that it's unrealistic for me to cram a whole bunch of stuff in the evenings. I'm tired, I'm a little overstimulated, my son is probably jumping off the walls. So I try to keep that simple too. There are 3 things I always have to do every evening. 1, give my son his bath. 2, take a shower myself. And 3, tidy up. I have to tidy up every night. Like I cannot go to sleep with my living room, my kitchen looking a mess. So I pick up all the toys in the living room, and as far as the kitchen, I always have to clear out my sink. So I just load the dishwasher every night. As time goes on, I'll incorporate more things into my evening routine. But for right now, that's what works for me because I know that I cannot try to change my whole entire evening in one try. It's not gonna work. The next one is making daily to-do lists. Sometimes I do this at night, like the night before, or sometimes I'll do it in the morning when I wake up. I don't really have a set time. I just always like to have a to-do list because if I don't, I'll try to get a whole bunch of stuff done that isn't even a priority in one day. And when I make my to-do list, there are always a few things that have timestamps. Like there are certain days where I have to drop my son off by a certain time in order for me to like go to the gym before I go to work. There are some days where I'm not working in the salon, so my day is dedicated to my content. Every day kind of looks different for me because I am an entrepreneur, so my schedule really depends on when people book. And that schedule often determines when I film, when I edit, when I plan out my content. If I need to do laundry that day, I'll have that on the to-do list. If I need to go to the grocery store, I'll have that on the to-do list. I try to keep my list very concise and I try not to put a whole bunch of stuff on there that doesn't really have to be done that day. This keeps me organized, and like I said before, it keeps me from doing a whole bunch of stuff that's not really a priority. It keeps me from sitting on my couch watching Scandal for 2 hours when I should have been filming or meal prepping. Prioritizing is key. I've also been keeping a wish list. If you've seen my video on how to make 2024 your financial glow up year, then you already know what I'm talking about. If you have not seen that video, I'll link it down below because it's not too late for you to make this year your financial glow up year. So basically, I was having an issue with impulse spending in 2023. Like it was real bad, especially when I was like stressed, agitated, overwhelmed. I found myself going online just buying stuff, especially on Amazon. Oh my God. I found myself just buying stuff to make myself feel better. Like I wasn't intentionally trying to make myself feel better, But I noticed later on that that was my trigger for impulse spending. That instant gratification that I got from ordering stuff on Amazon and getting it the next day was relieving a lot of my stress. And it was costing me a lot of money. So to avoid that, I started keeping a wish list in my notes. And I have different categories. I have one for like home stuff that I want. I have one for clothes, shoes, perfumes, stuff for my son, like clothes and toys. So whenever I have a little bit of extra money to spend, I always go to that list first before I randomly go on Pretty Little Thing and just start buying stuff, or Aritzia or Zara. Like, no, I'm going to that list first. That way I can make sure I'm buying things that I really do want, things that I've been waiting to purchase. And that helps me to honestly not spend as much money as I was spending before. Of course, I'm adding stuff all the time, but I have checked off so many things on there, things that I have been wanting for a really long time, because now I am sticking to those things and not just randomly going online buying stuff and later being like, dang, I could have spent that money on this thing that I've been wanting for a long time. While we're on the topic of like spending and finances, I've also been budgeting and keeping a bills calendar. I have a calendar that is specifically for my bills and expenses so that I can visually see when money is going to be coming out of my account or when I need to go in and pay a certain bill. Apparently this is something that a lot of people do, so I don't know, I guess I'm late, but it has been helping me so much because I hated going into my account and seeing less money than I expected to see because a big bill came out that I forgot about. And I also hated when I would make a mistake and overspend, forgetting that I had a big bill that needed to be paid, or even a small bill. So it's good seeing everything right in front of you. You can glance at it every day. You can glance at it every week. I typically like to pay all of the bills for the week at the beginning of the week. So if I have a bill that's due on Wednesday and I have a bill that's due on Thursday and Friday, I'll pay all of those that Sunday just to get it out the way. And this is actually another one, but I have separate bank accounts for everything. That has changed the game for me. Like, that is probably my number one habit that has changed my life. I have a bank account specifically for fun money, as I like to call it. So that's the money I use when I'm going out to eat, when I want to order some clothes online, when I want to go to the mall, getting my nails done, buying the stuff off my wish list. Like, all of that stuff comes out of one account, and I put a certain amount in there every week. It's not always the same amount, but it's really based off of like what's left after I pay bills and put money in my savings and stuff like that. So I have that fun checking, and then I also have one specifically for bills and expenses. This is the account that all of my household bills come out of: my rent, BGE, internet, groceries, gas. Like, all of that stuff comes out of one account. And the good thing about that is I know exactly how much needs to be in there that Sunday before I go in and pay all of my bills for that week. Like I said, I had an issue with going to my account and seeing, I don't know, we're gonna throw out a random number. Let's say I had $2,000. I would see that number and be like, oh, I got $2,000. But really, I probably didn't have $2,000 because I had $1,800 worth of bills coming out. So really I only had $200 to work with, but I wasn't thinking about the fact that I also had to get groceries. So that $1,800 in bills might have been like rent plus BGE. I don't know. Like, I would know for a fact that I had to pay my rent and my BGE that week, but I wouldn't think about the other expenses like gas, groceries. So I was working with even less than $200. Y'all get what I'm saying? So it's just important to have that money separated. That way you know exactly what's going in and what's coming out. Another thing that has helped me tremendously is grocery shopping weekly instead of monthly. I used to try to go to the grocery store once a month and just buy a whole bunch of stuff that I ended up not even eating. Like, it was very unrealistic. Like, I would go in there, I didn't have a list, just vibes, just picking up stuff. Like, oh, this would be a nice meal to make, and I would just be buying the stuff, but I wouldn't even have all the ingredients because certain things you can't buy ahead of time because it might go bad by the time you make it. Like, it was just a lot. Well, this was actually my next point, but I'll just combine the two. Lately, I have been planning my meals before grocery shopping. So I'll sit down and I'll write out breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack ideas for the week. After I write out the meal ideas, I'll write out all of the ingredients that I need for each thing. I'll check my fridge, check my cabinets to see if I have any of these things already. Check those things off the list. Then I go to the grocery store and I buy what's left on that list. Not only has this been financially helpful, but it's also made my whole grocery shopping experience easier. and it has made it easier for me to actually cook and actually eat the food that I'm buying. And I know myself, so whenever I'm planning out my meals for the week, I try to keep them really simple. Really good, but really simple. Like, I don't repeat the same stuff all the time. There are a few things that I kind of keep in rotation, but I like to spice it up a little bit. I don't like to feel like I'm eating the same thing for dinner every single day or lunch every single day. For breakfast, like I said, I know I need stuff that's grab and go, or stuff that I can pop in the microwave or in the toaster for a few minutes and be good. I need things to snack on when I'm at work. And I know that I need some dinner options that I can still cook on a day where I get off at 6 o'clock and I'm trying to get my son in bed by 8:30. Another one, I know y'all probably heard this a million times, but it definitely does make a difference. I make my bed every single morning. I've been this person for a few years actually, but it's something about making your bed as soon as you get out of it that makes me feel like I just have my life together. I don't know. Even if I don't make it as soon as I get out of the bed, I have to make my bed before I leave out of my apartment. Well, for one, it instantly makes my room look a little bit more clean, even if there's clothes everywhere. And as y'all can see, I take pride in the appearance of my bed anyway. So I've like cultivated this whole hotel type of vibe. And I like to turn around and look at that before I walk out the door. So I don't know, maybe that's what it is. Even if you work from home and you don't have to actually leave your apartment or your house, still make your bed when you get out of it. I've also heard that it prevents people from getting back in their bed until bedtime. So I don't know, that might work for you. I don't like to spend a whole lot of time in my bed. Like, I literally only get in my bed when it's time for me to go to sleep at night. So I can't really say if that helps. Like, even if I'm taking a nap, I'm taking a nap on my couch. But I will say it does make a difference in your day. And last but not least, this is something that I have been working on for the last few months. But having a home for everything in your home makes all the difference. I promise you. Ever since I've been trying to like decorate each room in my apartment and really putting energy and money into creating the vibe that I want in my apartment, I have been really focusing on having a home for everything, having a way for everything to be organized, even down to my son's toys. I just bought this shelving unit for my living room because I was tired of seeing all of my son's toys like out in the open. And then he also had a toy bin for a good amount of his small toys, and they were just like thrown in there, and that was really bothering me. So I was like, let me come up with something that could also serve as the core, but it's really meant for organization and storage for my son's toys. So when someone walks in my apartment, they would never guess that the baskets that are in the shelving unit are full of toys. And if you're a mom, you know that sometimes kids stuff can be an eyesore, especially if you're into like aesthetics and like just having a certain vibe in your home. So I had to find a way to not see that as soon as I walked in the house. Like, it was driving me crazy. I have a whole little spinny thingy on my counter specifically for skincare because I was tired of having some of the stuff in the cabinet and some of the stuff under the sink, some of the stuff in the linen closet. I needed everything to be in one place. I have baskets in my linen closet in my bathroom, one for toilet paper, one for laundry products, one for my nail products whenever I do my nails at home. I have a whole like gel manicure kit. I have one for all of my extra body washes and lotions and soaps. Everything has a home. And I've noticed that this is the key to really having a very organized and clean home. You don't want to just have stuff laying around, even if you know exactly where it is. Even if it is technically organized because everything's in the same place, you want to have somewhere for it to actually be stored, somewhere for it to go. So that's it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed as always. So if y'all enjoyed this and you want a part 2, feel free to let me know down in the comments. And if you have any small habits that have changed your life, you can comment those down below as well so that we can, know a little bit about what you got going on. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.